Hi, Kelly. Thank you and Doug for doing these videos. I found them very helpful and comforting. So, I've been having a hard time falling asleep lately or staying asleep. Any advice would be greatly appreciated.
Wow, what a great question. I really appreciate that she took the time to send that video to us. I think so many people right now are having a very difficult time sleeping or not being able to sleep through the night. There's so much anxiety on the planet, so many unknowns. And so, if we are in a place of not knowing, we will be thinking, trying to figure it all out in our mind, and that can make it very difficult to sleep, right? So, I love the question, how do you go to sleep and how do you stay asleep? And one of the things that I really liked that she said was comforting. And how can you be gentle and kind to yourself, whether you are able to sleep or not?
So much going on in our brain. So we either wake up in the middle of the night and we can't shut our brains off, or we can't even get to sleep in the first place. And I was read this article the other day that was really equating what we're all going through with the 5 stages of grief, which you're probably very familiar with. And it really struck me because I'm going to read it because I want to get it right. But the first stage, or a stage, is denial. And that's sort of the stage where we were maybe like, this virus won't affect us, or maybe this is all fake news and it's not as bad as everybody's saying. The second stage was anger, that anger that comes from, like, you're making me stay at home, or I'm not getting to do these things that, I want to do. I can't go to work. Then the third stage of grief is bargaining. So if I wash my hands or if I stay at home, this is going to end soon. I'm going to do all the right things, and this will go away. The fourth stage is sadness, which is one I've actually felt a lot the last few days. And this is with the coronavirus, maybe this feeling of, I don't know when this will end. I don't know what to do. Um, and then there was the fifth stage of grief, which is acceptance, which is, this is happening and now I have to figure out what to do with it. And I think when it comes to sleep, for me, that acceptance is actually not necessarily a place where I'm okay with everything, but knowing these stages, I can accept which stage I'm feeling that day. So if I am angry, at least I have some knowledge of why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling and kind of just where I'm at today. So I accept that. And so it kind of ties in because I've had some sleepless nights myself, and just being able to accept wherever I'm at in that process.
That's so great. I do agree with you. I think this whole process that we're in is like the stages of grief. I would add in, there's also a fear. And I was talking to a woman earlier today, and she is on the front line. She's going to a hospital every day, and she was talking about how angry she is that she doesn't get to stay at home with her family. And the more we were talking, what it came down to was she's in so much fear, right? That she might get sick or that she might bring something home to her family, and they need the money. So she's going out there, and there is so much unknown, and we're all doing the best we can. But like you were saying, kind of cycling through these different stages. And at times we're watching TV or we're doing our daily life, we might forget that it's even happening, right? And then an intrusive thought, or we'll see something on the news, and it might bring up anger or fear or just the anxiety of, how is this going to finish? How is it going to play out?
Yeah. Yeah. So the grief is really, it really struck me because a lot of times we're grieving because something has drastically changed in our lives, or somebody's gone now that was with us just yesterday, and there's nothing we can do about it. And, our whole life sort of changes directions without us having any say in it. So it really struck me that this was very similar, those feelings we're feeling. But I also think today,
Could I
since,
say just one more thing about
yeah,
that?
yeah,
I'm sorry, could I just say one thing?
yeah,
If we're talking about being comforting to ourselves and to others and being gentle with ourselves and others, one of the opportunities, if we can just notice what we're experiencing, that we're not fear that we might be experiencing it, or that we're not the anger, but we're experiencing it, we might be able to watch it just a little bit in our mind and see it diminish, which can help us when we're trying to go to sleep or to go back to sleep. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely. So just for me, what I hear is that awareness, like just like you said, I'm not an angry person, but I'm feeling angry, you know,
Right.
um, or I'm feeling sadness or those kind of things. And yeah, so that's where I think, because when I read acceptance, it's a hard thing to accept right now all the time, 24/7. But I think accepting that I'm feeling these things is a great start and probably will help, like you said, maybe take enough edge off to be able to relax and fall asleep.
Right. And we could just be in acceptance in inches and seconds. We don't have to accept that it's going until the fall or until this Sunday or whenever. We could just for this moment, we're okay. Just for this moment, I can catch my breath.
And the other thing we can certainly do, and I'm sure you have some ideas as well, is we can take some real practical steps, like we've been talking these last week or two about our morning routines and setting up a daily routine. There are specific steps we can take to kind of set ourselves up for the second half of the day or the evening of going to bed. And a couple I was thinking of that I would share today is, first we certainly getting on a schedule. Our work schedule is different now. So really setting ourselves up for a schedule. It's okay to take a nap in the middle of the day when you're tired, but we can also tend to take too long or too many naps because we have this time on our hands or we're trying to check out. And then all of a sudden it's time to go to bed and we're not tired. So trying to set up some kind of schedule, it's definitely worked, for me. And I think also I've been exercising a little more, at least walking, getting outside, trying to expend a little bit of energy during the day so that I can sleep. And then the other thing, which I was thinking about the other day, because I've been trying to eat better, which is a weird time, because when things like this happen, you want to comfort yourself with all those crutches we've had in the past. So sometimes you snack too much, or for someone like me, it might be too much sugar. So I've really been concentrating on trying my best to eat well, not snack too much. And then I was thinking a little more to take that one step further is, people who smoke cigarettes or drink, at times like this, when it's stressful, you tend to do that even more. So maybe somebody's smoking more than they used to. That's a stimulant. It can really keep you up. And same with alcohol or wine or beer, people who might have a glass of wine every few days are now having one or two every night. And that's another thing that can really mess up your sleep cycle. So just, again, being aware of those things so that we can try not to go overboard.
Absolutely. And with the trying to reduce the anxiety and the depression, the smoking, the nicotine can create more anxiety, and the alcohol, if you drink too much, however you would say that, it can lead to more depression. So to just be moderate in what you do to comfort yourself. And it is different right now because they're telling us not to even go to the store if we can help it. So we're trying to be careful and eat what we do have in the house. So I really like that, to eat less sugar, right? And I would also throw in there possibly to watch a little bit more uplifting things. If you're going to watch TV close to bed, to not watch scary things before bed.
Yeah, absolutely. My rule still is intact. No news after dinner.
Right.
No news after dinner. Watching some movies or documentaries or reading a book. One of the things I really love is I'm sure there's other places, but there's an app called Calm, which is, I think, mostly a meditation app, but they have this thing on there called Sleep Stories. And you can put your headphones in and you can listen to a story while you fall asleep. And they're very just random stories, so they don't take a lot of thinking, but they seem to help a lot, as well as, I've used my Audible or books on tape. In fact, I wanted to share one of my favorite books is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, which is a lot about taking whatever's happening in the moment and learning how to manage the emotions and feelings that come up with it, and how to be really present so that you can try and act in the most healthy, compassionate way possible. And that one's really nice on tape because he's got this great voice and this great laugh. But he also did a podcast series with Oprah about it, and that's available online for free too. So those are great things to listen to because they're not super specific to what's happening now, so they give me a chance to relax a little bit. And So in the middle of the night, if I can't sleep, I can put on a book. Or the other thing is, honestly, sometimes you just got to get up. Sometimes the harder you try and go to sleep, the less you can. And so I kind of have this thing that if it's after 4 a.m., sometimes I just get up and start my day. I get a head start on the day. I call it a miracle morning, and I get a few extra hours in my day, maybe take a nap later. But sometimes you just got to get up and do something.
Absolutely. I have suffered from insomnia my whole life. And so I really understand. Someone in my 20s told me that I wasn't going to die from lack of sleep. And I thought I might kill them because I was suffering so much. And I think people are having such a hard time right now. So just to be very, very kind to themselves. And like you said, if it's 4 a.m. and you can't go back to sleep, just to call it a night and get up. The night before last, Alex couldn't go to sleep or couldn't stay asleep. And he got up about 1:45 and went and cleaned the kitchen, which he and I were going to do yesterday morning. And he was able to go right back to sleep. So it's being aware of the fact that these are difficult times and being very kind to yourself during it. So trying not to scare yourself at night. One of the exercises that you and I have talked about is writing down during the day things that you're worried about and giving yourself a certain amount of time each day to worry about it. So at night, if your mind starts to go back to that place, to really just say, I've had my 5-10 minutes, and tomorrow I'll have my 5 or 10 minutes, but I'm not going to think about it right now. And to try to guide yourself to a kind neighborhood instead of a scary neighborhood in your mind.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I wanted to add, which I just remembered, was to phones, smartphones and computers. They say don't use them an hour before you go to bed because of the light from the screen is a type of light that stimulates your brain. But also, I think that impulse to get up in the middle of the night when you can't sleep and get on Facebook. I see people write messages sometimes, who's awake with me at 3 a.m.? And certainly surfing the internet these days, especially in the middle of the night, probably doesn't relax you. I would assume that it does the opposite. So I think just having something planned ahead of time, a book by your bed, a book on tape, some music, something like that, so that you're not automatically jumping on Facebook or Instagram or the news and just kind of making things even worse.
And taking those moments, if you're having a harder time going to sleep or if you wake up, to really comfort yourself, to speak to yourself like you would your own child or to someone that you adore, telling yourself it's going to be okay or that you're safe, just like what we've talked about in our past videos, that right in this moment I'm safe, and to comfort yourself and be gentle with those thoughts that come up.
Yeah. Well, maybe you can take us through one here at the end of this, so anyone who's watched this all the way through, they'll know at the end of this there's a nice little breathing exercise, and maybe that's something they could have queued up in the middle of the night and put on their headphones and listen to try and relax and maybe even fall back to sleep. So if you would.
I'd be delighted to. Since we're dealing with a virus, maybe we could acknowledge that we're healthy. Even if we're having it right now or experiencing that, we could call forward our healthy self. With that. So how about this? We're going to say, I am healthy and all is well. And if you feel like it, you can close your eyes. You can place your hand on your heart if you want. And with this, you can visualize yourself in compassion, with loving, with white light, whatever might work for you visually, or just close your eyes and settle into your body.
Okay, I'm ready.
Right. Okay, perfect. So with this breath in, I am healthy.
I am healthy.
And all is well.
And all is well.
And with this next breath in, consider that all the cells in your body are healthy and all is well. I am healthy.
I am healthy.
And all is well.
And all is well.
Let's send that health and all is well to your friends and family if you feel like it with this next breath. I am healthy.
I am healthy,
and all is well.
and all is well.
And for this last breath in and out, if you feel like sending this loving, this healing, this wellness to the entire planet, please feel free to. I am healthy,
I am healthy,
and all is well.
and all is well.
And let's do one more time. I am healthy,
I am healthy,
and all is well.
and all is well.
How was that for you?
That's great. Much better.
I'm so glad. I was thinking we might be able to make this part of the video available just separately by itself in case someone was having a hard time sleeping or woke up and wasn't able to go back to sleep, so that they could access just that part of I am well, or I am healthy, and all is well.
That'd be great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And don't forget, if you like us, go to YouTube, Doug and Kelly Now. You can subscribe and you can see all of our videos. Thanks for watching.